I'm Tristan Winder in the News 2 streaming studio at the Morning Pulse here on this Tuesday, March 18th. Caregivers and those representing Nebraska hospitals gathering at the Nebraska State Capitol yesterday saying that slashing the budget could have a major effects at home. According to the Nebraska Hospital Association, Congress is considering cuts to the Medicaid program that could reach up to $880 billion. Many say that these cuts would have a huge impact on critical health services, and hundreds of thousands of Nebraskans outside the state capitol building yesterday for that previously mentioned rally. Healthcare Association and caregivers from across the state also gathering to make their voices heard, stressing the importance of Medicaid and what it means for people in our state.
In our rural hospitals, Medicaid pays for roughly 33% of all births, 43% of all behavioral health services, and 44% of all services provided to children.
That's Jed Hansen of the Nebraska Rural Hospital Association. The Nebraska Medical Association says that Medicaid provides a safety net of health care coverage for roughly 350,000 Nebraskans, including 180,000 children. And the Nebraska Rural Health Association says nearly half of all Nebraskans enrolled in Medicaid live in more remote areas of the state. In other capital coverage today, a bill dealing with firearms introduced by a Tri-City senator. If passed, state entities would not be allowed to keep records or registers of individuals who own guns. There would be exemptions, like keeping records during a criminal investigation. It would also do away with certain coding that's used when someone purchases a gun with a debit or credit card. At last check, the bill was still in a legislative committee. And in other somewhat political news, very political news, a former Nebraska Senate candidate is now looking to run for more positions than he originally did in his previous campaign. Dan Osborne is now looking for a seat in the U.S. Senate House or becoming governor, according to the Nebraska Examiner. Osborne says that he's now considering running in eastern Nebraska's 1st Congressional District against U.S. Representative Mike Flood. He's also considering the Senate seat currently held by Senator Pete Ricketts and running for governor against current Governor Jim Pillen. Osborne is known for his campaign in 2024 against U.S. Senator Deb Fischer, where he ran as an independent. Selection Sunday is a fun time for many teams and fans across the country, but for UNO, this is their first time in the big dance, fresh off of winning the Summit League championship. But for one fan, the night became extra special. Grady Strickler is 7 and was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 5. But his cancer is now in remission, thankfully. He's a huge Omaha basketball fan, and the Mavs head coach, Chris Crutfield, said that he heard about his history and invited him to the big selection party as they punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
And we tried to raise money and raise dollars for cancer research, for anything that we can do to help fight cancer. We thought it'd be a great idea to have cancer survivors here with us.
Just to see him happy, it just makes me happy.
Following in the footsteps of his favorite team, Grady is starting his first season of basketball. While he's still picking up the basics, his mom says that he's just excited. And she's also excited that he won't be sidelined by cancer. You can catch the Mavericks' first-round game this Thursday on KNPL in the North Platte community. Today, President Trump plans to release the classified documents associated with President John F. Kennedy's assassination. In February, the FBI said that it had discovered about 2,400 new records related to the 1963 JFK assassination from a new record search following an executive order from President Trump. The president says all the documents will be released, and that's going to amount to around 80,000 pages. In 2023, the National Archives concluded its review of the classified documents, with 99% of the records having been made publicly available. And lastly today, the latest retail report came weaker than expected. Retail sales were up slightly in February from the previous month, a 0.2% increase. But February's numbers from the Commerce Department still came in much lower than economists had projected. Retail executives have recently warned consumers are feeling stretched and they're being more cautious with their spending. Retail sales make up about a third of the overall spending across the U.S. Rounding out the morning pulse with a check the 7-day forecast. Breezy again for us today, and you can see we do have weather alert days on that 7-day here later on this week due to wintry weather that's going to be coming into the area. But still, temperature's going to remain somewhat favorable. At least we're going to remain well above freezing, which obviously this time of the year you still can't rule out some of that blizzard behavior here in the great state of Nebraska. Might have a little bit of it yet this week. Hey. Oh, Chance.